I was always a bad typist, and I never learned to spell because I didn't want to. I never learned properly how to drive an automobile, and I bought my first one off a used car lot for 35. Gotten with my drunken lady and almost ripped off the side of a hospital making my first left turn. I didn't want to learn music because I disliked the teacher with her white wig and her powdered face. I got stuck in the ROTC because I didn't want to be an athlete, and they put me in a manual of arms competition, and I didn't want to win, and I won. And they gave me a medal and I threw it down a sewer. I didn't learn music, and now I listen to more classical music than the first 100 people you'll pass on the street. I disdained money, and my first wife was a millionaire as she got rid of me. And I never had any more wives. I hated poets and I hated poetry, and I began to write poetry. And one day I looked up and I was in Hamburg, Germany, translated into a half-dozen languages. And there were over 1,000 people sitting in the seats, and I was perched on the rafters. I read them, and they believed it. I didn't want to read books, but I tried to read great poets and novelists, men who have inspired thousands of people throughout the centuries. And the books fell from my hands and I slept. I went to museums of art and looked at the great paintings, and I was bored. I didn't worry about it. I don't consider myself inadequate. I consider them inadequate. It is difficult for me to get interested or angry. When a cop stops me for some infraction, I simply sink into some great sea of disgust. Do you want to know what you did, sir? He asked me.
No, I say
I have the same trouble with women. Look, you just sit and don't say anything they say. Now something is wrong if you just sit there and don't say anything. I drain my drink and pour another.
Look,
they say, let's talk, let's work things out. I don't want to work things out. I tell them I don't even want to write, and when I write, oftentimes a strange word will slip in and I'll leave it in, or I'll make a typing error. Say I will mean to hit a G and I'll hit an H, and if it happens at the beginning of a word, then I'll use a word beginning with H. It doesn't matter.
even as a horse player, I sometimes don't care. Once I was driving to Mexico from LA to go to Caliente racetrack and drag chords of the way down.
Something grabbed at the wheel and I turned right down a street and parked near a railing overlooking a cliff. I got out of the car and sat at the top of this cliff. The ocean was 40 to 60 yards straight down, and I had never been charmed by the ocean, but I sat there because I just didn't want to go to the racetrack anymore. I had no thoughts at all. I sat there feeling neither good nor bad. After some time I noticed 3 squirrels climbing straight up the cliff toward me. They came closer and closer. They bounded 6 inches or so at a time, stopped, looked at me, then bounded closer. They got unbelievably close, the 3 of them, and their eyes were beautiful. Never had I seen eyes like that, never on a woman. There was no treachery there, and men's eyes never interested me. Then all at once they ran off, bounding straight down the side of the cliff, rapidly, sure-footed, without falling into the ocean. And I became conscious of myself as a man, and worse, as a writer. And I thought I'll never be able to write this down. I really did buy my first automobile for 35, and I asked the man, does the motor start? Does it have a key? It didn't have any springs or a reverse gear, and to make the headlights work I'd have to hit a hard bump in the road, and I had to park it on a hill to get it started. It ran for 2 years without my changing the oil, and when when the car finally died, I just left it. and walked away. I just left it and walked away. The drunken lady who had been along for that first ride past the hospital, she lived a little longer with me and without me, but mostly with me. She died and I buried her one warm afternoon north of Anaheim. And the best thing I liked about her was she never said, "Let's talk this thing out." She was a typist for a large downtown furniture store, and she had the most beautiful legs I have ever seen before or since. I should have loved her more than I did, but I didn't wanna